Despite some, like, I don't know, Bill Maher saying that the pandemic's over, it's not over, and still 12 to 1,300 people are dying every day. But there are things that are changing, and that is where the people are dying and who tends to be dying. I mean, people of all sorts are dying, but they've found recently an analysis of these deaths that the partisan gap in COVID deaths has been increasing. So this gap accelerated its fastest rate yet in October, the last month that we have full data for, coming out to 25 COVID deaths per 100,000 residents in counties where Trump won more than 60% of the votes, so strong red districts, versus 7.8 in those where Biden did the same. So it is more than 3 times gap there in deaths. And it's not surprising to find out why. I hope that Aaron Rodgers is watching this, because a late October poll by the Kaiser Family Foundation's COVID-19 vaccine monitor found that 39% of Republican adults remain unvaccinated, 4 times the rate of Democrats. So 4 times less vaccination, 3 times more death. Again, I'm not an expert, JR. Maybe there's something there.
Well, I mean, as long as people who would like to live or not get sick and have long COVID issues the rest of their life, they'll pay attention to things like this. So the best you can do is put this kind of information out. But the problem now is, since it becomes along partisan lines, people will dig themselves into their partisanship. So, pinning people who are unvaccinated or believe Donald Trump is God will see this stuff and go, yeah, that's us. Because again, I've said this so many times, they've somehow convinced their followers to attach their political ideology to their identity. Like you can't let go of it. If it's something you believe in, then everything that happens with it, you got to take it to death. Like that is you. If you're now a COVID denier, if you're now a vaccine anti-vaxxer, you can't ever change your mind. There's no information available that will allow you to switch.
Yeah, and you are purer the more damage you're willing to do to yourself. It's like a constant martyr thing. That's what, when people talk about death cults, that's what it is. It's the people who are willing to put their literal lives and livelihood and health on the line are the best people, and that's what they're doing here. By the way, the update, so I just go to twitter.com/Iadarola. I just tweeted this link. Unvaccinated Texans, according to the Washington Post, were 40 times as likely to die of COVID as those who are fully vaccinated across 2021. So throughout this year, 40 times as likely, but the other side refuses to admit that there is literally any difference. It's 40 times, and they don't think it's 5%. Okay, yeah, do your research. Talk to what do you call it? That podcaster, Joe Rogan. Oh, I forgot his name for a minute. That was a good one. Anyway, talk to Joe Rogan, okay? And then you can weigh that against the data that shows you're 40 times more likely to die. Anyway, you can see it mapped out across states, the vaccination rate versus the vote share. The red states just aren't getting vaccinated. The daily COVID deaths it's getting worse and worse. It's always been bad, but look at how it is changing in recent months, and that is going to get worse. And why not? Fox has been demonizing vaccination even more. Its opinion programming, 92% of its segments about vaccination undermine the effort. 92%. Any super fast comment, JR?
No, just as expected. This is what's gonna happen. It's gonna continue to happen. Let's see how many families are broken over this.
100%. And we're just covering this to try to stop people from dying. And especially now, try to stop conservatives from dying, because they're the ones that are being culled by this insane thing that the right is doing.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.